dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go through bad days, hard times, low pay, high crime, pathways to a life without sunshine. I'm the lifeline. With this life, I'm gonna be the pipeline shining in the nighttime.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our YouTube live tonight. David, how are you?
I'm excellent. How you doing?
Excellent. Doing well over here. How'd everything go yesterday for you guys in Connecticut with the eclipse?
Oh, it was pretty good. A little bit of cloudiness, so a lot of overcast, but actually able to see it, which was pretty neat.
Oh, really? How much?
Yeah.
How much did it cover the? Sun?
Yeah, we didn't get full cover. I think they had about 92% for Connecticut. If I had to guess, we're probably what I saw was about 80%.
Wow.
So it was pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the full boat here. It was pretty impressive, I have to tell you.
Yeah. How were the crowds? Must have been impressive.
It was impressive. Not as big as they thought, or at least what everyone was thinking was going to happen. They were saying 30 to 40,000 people. It definitely wasn't those numbers, but it was definitely packed. It was probably more traffic in town than there has been for the international seaplane fly-in, which happens every year, which is already a traffic nightmare. So there were more people than that, but the 30, 40,000 number, no. I think for seaplane fly-in, they say they get in about 10,000. I'd say we probably had 15 to 20. If I had
still
to guess.
A lot of people.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people for the area, and they were all on the sides of the road, and there were people out on the lake in kayaks, and there's ice flowing over the place. It was crazy.
It's wild. I also heard too, we got a lot of people that travel from overseas to come see this, which is wild.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The people that were around us when we were watching it from Utah, Texas, California, up in Canada. You know, what was interesting though is a guy that we were next to was actually an astronomer, and he had a telescope set up that he could look through with special filters on it. And while everything was happening, he was almost narrating what was happening at the time as it led up to it, and then during it, and the things you're going to notice and see. It was pretty. That was really interesting and a good opportunity to have him there. And we didn't even plan it that way; just happened to be there. So it was very educational listening to him talk as it was happening. But
nice.
So tonight we got a lot to discuss. If you guys are online with us on YouTube, thanks for joining us. My name is Jamie, along with David Kahn from Training for Survival, T4 Survival. We're going to be talking about range gear. We're going to be talking about some upcoming training events that we just posted, and we have some other things to discuss today as well. Give us a hello. Give us a like if you're on our YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, or X. Let us know you're there.
Hi, Coyote. How you doing? Liza, how are you?
Excellent. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys joining us online tonight. So we are going to discuss, first off, talking about the updated camp and some of the training things that we added in, right, David?
Coming quick.
May
14th to the 18th.
Yes.
18th, yeah. Good stuff.
So the first day, the 14th, is going to be Krav Maga self-defense training, and that's going to be a full-day training event from 9 o'clock till 5. What we added in, though, for a lot of people that were asking was, can they come in and just do a portion of camp? And usually we don't like to do that. We kind of tested it out a little bit last camp. So we're going to do something like that again for this camp, but it's going to be very limited in what they are able to do. So on Wednesday afternoon, we're going to open up a basic firearm safety and basic skills class. That will happen from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till about 5 o'clock on Wednesday, the 15th. And that will allow people to be able to have that opportunity to train with us and be able to get onto the range and work some of those basic skills. Mike, how are you, man? Good to see you online. Thanks for jumping
Michael.
on. And then on Thursday, we open it up as well, where we're going to have 2 tracks on that day. One track is going to be all handgun, or the other track is going to be all rifle. For those attending camp, the full camp, they could jump between the two, and that's an option for them to mix up the training throughout the day. But there's going to be an option for someone to be able to join the camp on that Thursday and just do the full rifle track or do the full handgun track. Very limited space that we're going to allow for a couple of people to be able to register and be able to attend that. We're really excited that Mike is going to be leading that rifle portion of camp, and what opportunities do you have to be able to train with an internationally recognized, sniper shooter, police sniper shooter that's, ranked one of the best in the world. Want to be the best, train with the best, and Mike is one of the best, and I'm proud to have him as part of my team for, God, Mike, what are we looking at, a decade now, a little over. So anyway, we're looking.
And that's
for
a full day, right?
That's
Rifle's
a
full
full
day.
day. That's going to be
So
from
that's
9 till 5. There is going to be night shooting that day, but the night shooting is strictly for camp members. It's not going to be open to people that are jumping in just for that day of training. And then the other track is going to be handgun, which you and I will kind of take the lead, and we'll be bouncing back and forth with helping with rifle. But the handgun training is going to be fundamental skills, moving and shooting, positions and shooting. It's going to be a really good, day for someone that maybe has some basic skills of handling a handgun, but they want to take it to the next level and do more advanced training. So I'm hoping that we get some people local to us here in Maine that want to do just a little bit portion of that training, and maybe just do Wednesday and Thursday to be able to come acclimated, because I think it's extremely important. Maine is a constitutional carry state, but I think that's still important that people get trained and spend time on the range. The purpose of them owning a firearm is for self-defense. In my opinion, they very damn well trained to be able to handle that weapon and safely handle it, and being able to deploy if they need to. There's a lot going on in the world. There's lots of safety issues, and there's also liabilities that you need to consider as well. If you're going to deploy that weapon and you're going to pull that trigger, there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of, and we're going to cover all of that in camp. So, David, you want to add something in here? I've been blabbing away for the past couple minutes.
No, you're doing a great job. No, I just think that like you said, you need to get the training, and then this gives you the opportunity to just not stand in a little corner and shoot at a paper target, right? This is engagement. This is real life stuff. It's how to shoot and move, how to take cover, how to engage a threat, when to engage a threat. So there's so many different variables that are going to be very useful long term. And then the rifle is going to be fantastic. It's a full day where you get immersed in all facets of rifle shooting, preparation, windage control, elevation, distance, breathing techniques. There's so many things that you're going to learn, and there's so many more things that you can learn. You can keep building camp after camp. So it's a great foundation if you can come to this camp.
And I know a lot of people walk around, hey, I've had handgun for years, I know how to shoot. But the reality is that, have you ever been put to the test a little bit? See how you respond under stress? Have you done skills where you've had an instructor next to you and kind of pushing you through a segment of obstacles and things you need to be able to do in a certain amount of time under a certain amount of stress? These are all things you're going to experience at camp. Because like David just mentions, going to a range and just shooting at a paper target is not skill enough for you to be able to defend yourself and your family. So this is a great chance to have well-qualified instructors and immerse yourself in firearm training, either for a day or two if you decide to take that option of just doing a partial part of camp that Wednesday and Thursday, or if you do the full camp, which is an experience in itself. And most of the people that attend camp travel from outside of our local area. They fly in from across the country, spend 5 days at the Birches. A lot of people extend that stay. They come a few days early, or they stay a few days later so they can experience the beautiful area that we have up here and get a little R&R. But they immerse themselves in that firearm training. We're definitely not the cheapest group out there when it comes to firearm training, but we're damn well one of the best. And you get what you pay for. So if you have the time and you have the financial opportunity to be able to come and train with us, do it. It's a life-changing experience is what I've got to say about that. And David, you could speak on that yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%. The one thing I will tell you is that we are at the range the entire day. Yeah. It's not just an hour or two. It's a full 8+ hours. So you are actively learning or actively engaging, and you're working your firearm, you're learning it, you're going to the fundamentals, and you're really becoming that expert with that firearm.
Yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely. And a lot of people that come to us, maybe not, some of the newer people don't have that comfort level yet of being able to carry that firearm on them
right.
all the time. And that's the goal here is that you leave. And usually by the second day of camp, by the way, when we go break for lunch or dinner, you have your firearm on your hip and you're carrying it with you as if it's, your wallet and your cell phone. And that's the goal
Yeah.
is, getting you that comfort level of just having it on you. And that's the safest place for it to be. Is on you. And we get that question all the time. Hey, where should I store my firearm when I'm at home? Well, why isn't it on you? Why is it in a safe
Yeah.
upstairs in the back of your bedroom? If it's on your hip, you could play with your kids. You could roll around the floor. You could play with the dog. You could mow the lawn. You could cook dinner. You can do the laundry. And your firearm can be with you. And that's going to be the best and the safest place for it to be. A lot of people say, well, I've got kids in the house. Well, you can have the firearm on your hip in a good qualified holster from Kydex Holster Solutions. And
There you
it will
go.
have good retention on it where you can
Yeah.
play with your kids, wrestle with them, and be totally comfortable and confident in knowing that, it's in a safe place and it's ready to
Yeah.
deploy if necessary.
That's probably the most important thing. I know so many people that get their permits and all they do is they start to carry. They've never trained. Most of
Right.
them don't even go to the range. It's sad. Like you're not going to be ready when that situation comes about. You're not going to be ready to engage. You're gonna clam up, and it's just not going to be a good scenario. You want to be able to protect your family.
Right.
So this is your step to get yourself ready and feel a lot more confident.
Yeah. And Mike's saying get the repetitions in. Oh,
100%.
yeah, the repetitions, man. That's what it's all about. Is the amount of range time you get, and the amount of time you're able
Yeah.
to just work on those drills and those skills. We
Yeah.
go through about 1,000 rounds, right? Most people will bring, we recommend 800 handgun rounds. They usually bring about 1,000, and they go through that 1,000, and sometimes they bring more. So that's a lot
Yeah.
of rounds and time on the range. And then rifles a different ammo count, which is on our website. So if you're wondering how much ammo to bring, just go over to t4survival.com, click on the camp or events page, and you'll be able to read more details on what we just listed off for registration, and also the details of what's going to happen during those training days. If you have questions while you're on our website, on the bottom right corner is a little bubble. Click that, and you'll be able to have a live chat with one of us if we're available. If not, you can leave a message. We'll get back to you and answer any questions you might have and get you registered. You can also call or text us at 207-200-7911 if you prefer to speak with us directly or have a text communication. That's also an option. And I have these statistics here that I want to bring up of the importance of making sure you're getting trained to be able to protect yourself and your family. So everybody knows what MS-13 is, right? A gang that's here in the United States. They're based in like Ecuador, Venezuela, and what do we have coming over the border right now? A lot of people from those countries that
Many.
are, released out of prison, that are being basically flown and given a free pass to go anywhere they want in the country. Well, latest stats, and these are actually 6 to 9 months old, but MS-13 is currently in 46 states. 46. Okay, 30% of the arrests made of MS-13. This is going back 2 years ago, by the way. 30% of the arrests made of MS-13 members are from unaccompanied minors that came over the border. 30%. So now, if we look at the past numbers for the past couple of years of the increase that we've had, those are probably the numbers are going to be at 50, 60% that are coming over. And a lot of them, as they start getting into this gang world and into this lifestyle, they're already minors when they're getting arrested. And so those of you who may not know this, but if you look at juveniles that are involved in gangs, a lot of times the gang members will have the juveniles do the crimes, because what will happen is they'll get arrested. It will be in a juvenile record. When they turn 18, it will be expunged and go away. Or a lot of the new laws that have been put in place in places like New York and California, they just get released, no cash bail, and released into custody of another family member. So they're right back out on the street. I know
Doing
in
it all over
Connecticut,
again.
Yeah, they were stealing cars and robbing vehicles, getting arrested, and on that same night being released back out, and then being arrested again. And things have changed a little bit in Connecticut, particularly. But I remember back a few years ago, there was no communication between town to town of, all right, John got picked up here and got arrested in this town, and now he's 4 towns over committing another crime. There was no communication as to all of that happening. But over the past few years, it's opened up to that is actually the case. So reason to get trained and spend time working on your firearm skills is what I just read to you. MS-13 in 46 states, and the amount of crimes that are being committed. And what does it take to be a member of a gang? What do you have to do?
Kill,
commit crimes,
steal, crimes, yep,
rob, home invasion, murder. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So this is scary what we have going on here.
You know what's even worse than that is those are the numbers that we know of.
Right.
Right. So you'd multiply it by probably 2, 3 to 4 times that.
And the amount, I mean, the last numbers we read a couple of live streams ago of the amount of people that came over. I mean, we were up over 1 million, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, 1 million, then it went to 1.3 and now it's at 2.3.
March, April when we read that statistic.
Yeah.
So the numbers are staggering, ladies and gentlemen. Get trained. Get yourself onto the range. Contact us, and let's get you up here for May to be able to spend some time with us and building your confidence to handle that firearm. Then let's talk about another country really quick. I know we got a lot to cover today. How about Haiti? You know what's going on in Haiti, right? So they Jimmy Barbecue, right, is the head of the gang there in Haiti, the cannibalist, the guy that eats human beings.
Nice.
And I sent that video to you, right? And I know Mike,
yes,
I sent it to in our group communications that of this guy out basically barbecuing a body and eating meat off of him. Well, they freed over 4,000 criminals out of the jails. There's crime on crime, murder. It's chaos right now in Haiti. And a lot of those people have left Haiti and are making their way to the Florida coast. And the U.S. Coast Guard's been intercepting them. And luckily, Florida is a state that they obviously don't want them there and putting resources in place. But I've seen video footage of, boats filled with, 80, 100, 200 of these Haitians coming ashore in the Florida Keys, Southern Florida, and they just run through the beach, run down through the streets, and they're out. They're gone. They were intercepted.
And now they're in our public.
Now they're out there. So these are reasons to make sure you're getting trained and make sure that you are spending time investing in yourself to be able to defend yourself and protect your family. If you guys are joining us on live here, thanks. Give us a like if you like the content we're discussing. Also, put in the comments box where you're listening from or say hello. We'd love to hear where you're from and that you're online with us right now. The other thing we want to talk about is range gear and some of the things that we think you should have when you go to the range, and some particular gear that's important. Now, obviously, the basics.
Firearm. You need a firearm.
Yes.
Start there.
Okay, so you need a firearm. You need magazines.
You need ammunition. There's
ammunition.
Your 3 must-dos.
So let's go over ammunition, because this is a big topic. A lot of people will jump online and they'll look at ammo prices and they'll find steel ammo and all this at lesser prices. And they're like, oh, look, I got a good deal on this. And then they bring it and they train on the range with us. And what happens? They have problems with
malfunctions.
The ammo. Yeah. So I don't recommend saving a few bucks when you're investing into this type of level of training, and get full metal jacket, brass casing, if you're going to get ammo to go out to the range and do a higher level training. Does it mean don't buy the steel if you're on a budget? You can buy it and use it for some basic practice, but understand you're going to have malfunctions, you're going to have issues with it.
Yeah, definitely. Some guns I just won't operate with steel.
Yeah.
I could tell you that Glocks actually do, just so if you know.
Yeah. Unlike,
but they eat pretty much. I think. Yeah. You mean Smith & Wesson?
Oh yeah. We have
no,
a list of
not knocking.
But
you can. I mean, I would if you're going to make a trip, especially up to Maine and come train with us, just test the ammo that you're purchasing before you bring it up, just so you don't have a problem.
Or another option, which most of our clients do, is just tell me what you need. We'll order it and we'll have it here waiting for you. So that you're ready to go when you arrive. And it works out for clients that are flying in from across the country, so they don't have to transport the ammo. So they'll have us order it, and it's here ready and waiting for them when they arrive. The other thing that a lot of people don't have is a good holster and a belt.
Battle belt. Some type of a belt. Double layer, reinforced. So don't get your run-of-the-mill belt from Kohl's or Walmart. That's not going to work. You need the stability and the reinforcement for it to work properly. You don't want your holster flopping around because the belt's too weak. So there's a lot of different things, little avenues you can go. If you go to KydeXSolutions.com, we do have some battle belts listed on there. They're a nylon belt. Great for, going to the range, having that battle belt built, ready to go. You got an incident or something happens and you need to slap that belt on, you have all your gear on it and you're ready to go. So that's a great avenue. If you're doing EDC carry, something like, you could use that type of belt, but like a core belt is really good. It's got a little reinforcement. Yeah. You just started using that, right, Jamie?
Yeah. Dusty also has the core and loves it as well. Highly recommend the core essentials. And I'll put a link in the description and a link to David's Kydex Solutions for the battle belts. But the battle belts, let's dig into that for a quick second here. The battle belts, when David says they're preloaded, it's a belt that you put over what you're already wearing. And you can basically, if somebody goes stump in the middle of the night, grab your battle belt, put it on with your underwear on, snap it, and go, looking, through the house with your light source and your extra mags and your weapons on you, ready to go.
All right, so we got a comment here from Liza. I always carry IWB. Do I still need a belt? Yes, you absolutely need to buy a belt from me. 100%, Liza. It's required for life. No, I mean, realistically, you don't need a belt, but you need to make sure you have the right clip that will either clamp or grab your pants, because you don't want to run a standard run-of-the-mill belt clip, no belt, and it won't grab your pants. Now you draw your holster and your firearm at the same time. So that's not, not something you want to have happen. But it's still a good thing to have, because the reality is, you hear a thump in the night, like Jamie said. You grab this belt, you put it on, and you have all your holsters, everything's lined up. You just grab your firearm if it's not already in it, and your hands are free, right? That's an important part. You want to be able to move things around, access your weapon, to have something available to you. Right. So, do you need a belt? Not necessarily, but just make sure you have the right setup in order for it to work properly.
Well, she ordered a holster from you, and she's asking if the holster she's getting, will she need a belt for that?
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. I'll get back to you, Liza, because your holster is actually in the works right now. So I'll double check that and make sure, but I will touch base with you directly.
Yeah. We'll get that taken care of, Liza. So that's the purpose of the battle belt. And some people like to do vests. We get their rig all set up on a vest. So something goes bump in the middle of the night, they throw on their vest, and they have their mags and light source and everything already preloaded. And that could sit somewhere in your home, and you carry your firearm on you during the day in your regular holster and your core belt or whatever belt you purchase for your EDC, which is everyday carry. And then when you're home at night and something happens, you've got the vest or the battle belt to be able to grab and put right on you and go. So I think it's important to have all of those options. Going back to the range, so we talked about you need a good weapon, preferably a Glock. You need holster. You need a good belt. You need good ammunition, not just steel casing, but making sure you have a full metal jacket, brass casing ammo is best. Let's talk a little bit about grains, because that's another question I get a lot. Oh, there's 160 grain versus 180 grain, in a 40. If you buy a 40 or if you buy 9mm, you got 115, and then it goes up from there. Talk a little bit to David about the different grains and the importance of the grains matching up maybe to what you carry for your hollow point.
Yeah, so I mean, like your we'll say ball ammo is your range ammo, which is important. And if I'm not mistaken,
hold on. I always say ball ammo. You say ball ammo. Mike says ball ammo. Scott says ball ammo. But I get some asshats sometimes on YouTube. They're like, ball ammo that's like from 100 years ago. It's FMJ.
No.
So
Oh,
before you leave a stupid comment, we know what we're talking about. Ball is basically what's going
It's
to
a
be coming
very
up.
common
Yeah.
terminology in this industry. So
And
if you're
feel
new
like
to
you
the
want to type a
industry,
comment and complain
like,
about it, please
yeah,
just click off
whatever.
the website and go away.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not going to respond to stupid
Yeah.
comments. But basically, ball ammo is just round lead. It just doesn't expand, such as your carry ammo. So if you're shooting, let's say 147 grain 9mm, and then you go switch to a hollow point that you're going to carry, and you're running it at like I'm just throwing a number, 225 grain, it's going to be a lot snappier. Your follow-up shots are not going to be as accurate. So you want to try to match to what you're practicing with, to what you're going to be carrying with, because you want it to react the same, right? You don't want to carry something with a higher grain. You have a lot more snap to it. You're not going to be as accurate. And plus, your adrenaline's pumping if you do engage a threat. So all those factors are going to come into play. So also the ammo that you are going to carry, that you want to carry, maybe you go to the store, you find this really cool looking ammo, try it. Okay, buy a small box of it and try it, because it's not always going to work in your gun. Right. Certain guns will cycle better with different grains, different companies. Some won't work with certain, like I've found Hornady sometimes will act funny in certain guns versus other guns. So test your stuff out, because you don't want to get into a situation where you're carrying, well, I'll just use Hornady just because, and all of a sudden you draw the firearm and you have to engage a threat. It doesn't work. You got malfunction after malfunction. Seconds count. So test your stuff.
It's so trying to match the grain of what you're doing for your training with the grain of what you're carrying for your self-defense ammo, because there's a clear difference between the two. We've talked about this a lot. Is important. And if you have questions on that, feel free to message us, and we'll be glad to spend a little more time on that.
Or add a comment.
We'll
try to clarify.
To answer that right now if you have questions on the difference in the grain. So required equipment for the range: your firearm, holster, sturdy belt, good ammunition. Next, eye and ear protection.
Yep.
A lot of people say I don't wear eyes when I go to the range.
That's a horrible thing to do. You get brass kicks up, hits you in the eye, burn your cornea. Not a good scenario. You should always have eye protection. I mean, I'm lucky I wear glasses, but if you don't, you really should. I mean, it's really a foolish thing to do, because then you injure yourself, and then what are you going to do? You don't know what kind of scenario you're going to be involved in.
And ricochet too. There's a rare occurrence that sometimes something bounces off of a target.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
the one. So we did. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but the one we did talk about the holster, but we want to talk about also you need at least a double magazine carrier that to go along with it. You should be carrying at least 3 magazines.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
So one of the gun, a double. I typically carry a double and a single plus the one in my firearms. I'll always have 4.
Yeah.
That's not my EDC. What's to say? I carry 2 on a double, and I have one I can adjust and kind of pivot a little bit. So it gives me some flexibility, modularity to it. So there's a lot of different avenues that you can take.
Right.
And also, the other thing too is a light. You need to figure out you're going to run a light source on your firearm. If you are, that's fine. Secondary light source is a really an important thing to think about and have, because you don't want to be drawing your firearm and having to use that as your light source if you don't have the proper training on how to manipulate that and do it the right way, right?
Right.
So there's obviously you said hearing and eye protection. I made that one word. And then I like to carry a knife on me. It's good to have, and maybe a small toolkit, little tool pouch, something that you can attach. All these things that we talked about will all attach to a battle belt. Every single thing, all together.
Right.
So it's really, I go back to the battle belt for the range gear. It's fantastic. And the other thing we didn't mention was it's good to have gloves. Have a good set of gloves. You can get a little hook hanging from the battle belt.
Yeah.
They're all really, really good things to line up for your range gear.
Another question I had was the difference in hearing protection. Getting the little foam things that you roll up, you put inside your ears, or getting just ear muffs, or the muffs with electronic hearing, or getting They now make the ones that are custom that fit inside your ear canal, and they're supposed to not have the muffs over your ear, not the foam, but they give you electronic hearing. I don't
Yep.
know if you're familiar with those or experienced
I
those yet.
No, I haven't used the ear pod like ones. I hear
Right.
they're really good. You can use the foams. The foams will work. I guess in an emergency scenario, it's not a bad thing to have. I usually carry a bag of like 50 in my
Mm.
my pack just to go to the range
They're
because if
inexpensive,
anybody
like
comes along, they're
$15
cheap.
for
Yeah,
yeah.
you can get a whole bunch.
Right.
It's not going to keep the sound out, right? Like you would with the over the head earmuffs.
Mm.
And then to go to the next level is electronics. Electronics are fantastic. I mean, we use at the range. We use the walkie-talkie feature, which
Yeah.
comes with I forget the name of the company top of my head, but I'm sure if you Google it, earmuffs with walkie-talkie feature, fantastic.
The
It's a
walkers.
great way to Walker,
Yeah.
Walker, yep, exactly. They make some really good, I would say good high quality with a really good price.
Mm.
Um, so maybe for like the walkie-talkie features, I think you can get them for somewhere around maybe 60 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to the range with a buddy, you guys can talk. You don't have to take your earmuffs off, and you keep your ears safe. So,
Right. Okay. Good.
um,
The the
but yeah,
for the ears, I like the ones that go over the ears, the muffs with electronic. For
yeah,
us for communication. But one thing I will say is that sometimes when they're sitting on your ears for a long period of time, they can get
yeah,
kind of uncomfortable.
it can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'd like to find ones that will go not on the ear, but over the ear. So it surrounds the whole
yeah,
ear.
yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure Walker has that set. I'll take a look at it with you. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But Walker has a nice set that's small. It's not cumbersome because it does. It's after 8 hours of wearing the earmuffs.
Yeah.
You pull them off and you're like, oh, it feels great, yeah, it can be a little uncomfortable. And if you're running a helmet, I mean, I don't want to get too much into helmets, but the helmets will have attachments to run earmuffs right off the helmets,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a little bit reduced. But then you got the helmet on; it's a whole different ball game. But
Right. Right.
so there's a lot of different avenues you can go.
There is, and we're going to put some links to a lot of stuff we're talking about, recommendations in the description on YouTube, and it'll also be available in the after party video as well, which will be heading over to the after party in a few minutes. So if you have any question on this stuff or want to know more about the products we're discussing, they will be listed in the description later on tonight after we finish off with the live stream, and it's posted so that you guys can click links and see where to purchase and read all about everything we're discussing. Anything else you want to add about the range gear?
I don't really have any. I mean, you're always going to add stuff. The one thing you can add, which is really nice, is a dump pouch. Those are nice because you can, if you're running through drills that are, you want to save a little bit of your ammo, you're cycling magazines, you're holstering, unholstering. That's
Right.
a great way to make things safe, and put your live ammo in a bag out of the way, kind of behind you.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think that's going to cover it. Michael has a good comment, and I do this all the time. Is just use your gloves. Train with your gloves, hot, cold.
Mm.
When it's cold out and you're not used to it, sliding your gloves on can make you feel uncomfortable. Manipulating your firearm will be very uncomfortable. It's not going to be the same. So train with them off. Get that familiarity down, so it's not that weird feeling when you have to use them.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very important parts and things to keep in mind. And Mike even made a comment earlier about having the eye protection. As what if you have a catastrophic failure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it happens. Yep. It's rare, but it happens. And no one plans on accidents happening. So,
we missed on one thing for the battle belt, which is really, really important: a medical kit.
Yeah.
And then part of that medical kit, you have to have at least one tourniquet. I would say two, but at least one.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend, you shouldn't train by yourself. It's not a good thing, because if you do have a catastrophic event, something blows up, no one knows where you're at, or at least communicate. But in the likelihood that something happens and people know where you're at, it's going to be probably too late. Right. You'll be, administering medical on yourself, and hopefully you get a hold of somebody. So
that's a really good point. Really good point. So we have some other things to discuss that we're going to be heading over to the after party to discuss. If you have more comments or questions for us, type them in now before we head over. You have something you want to add, David? Did I cut you off?
No, you're good. Nope, I'm just saying, we've got lots to go over. That's for sure.
And some of those things, so you guys are aware, what we're going to be discussing is you've heard about all the earthquakes that have been going on around the world. And we've been kind of digging in a little bit on HAARP cloud
Mm.
seeding and chemtrails and all this other stuff. So we're going to be kind of digging into that a little bit in the after party and answering other questions you have regarding what we've discovered so far, but also
Yeah.
about what we've already previously discussed in this live stream.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of the earthquakes, right? Let's
Mm.
just dabble into what just happened a couple days ago. The earthquake that took place in Jersey. Did you happen to feel that
I
by
did
you?
not at all.
Wow. Okay. So I actually did. My building actually shook. It was pretty wild.
Mm.
I was surprised. First time I've ever felt an earthquake before. And then actually, after I was at it was a few towns away. I was back home. There was the second round, and I actually felt that as well, which is not as
Yeah.
intense, but definitely unnerving. Right?
Right.
Makes me think of like how your heart goes out to Taiwan and what they were dealing with, because
Oh yeah.
a week prior to that, it was massive damage.
Yep.
So, and then what Japan was, I think, a day after,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. So, lots going on. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, I mean, if we talked a little bit about the earthquakes a little more depth, and we had one that we calculated maybe 5 the same
Mhm.
day as the Jersey one. There was one in California,
Right.
Jersey, what was it, South America,
Yep.
and New Zealand. I think I captured them all that I know of. So it's
And
kind of interesting to have them all happen right the same
right.
day. Little
And there
weird.
was another one that just happened today, Indonesia.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the magnitude on that? Do you know?
I don't. I'll look that up when we get over to the after party. But
Okay.
yeah, that
So it makes you really think, right? I mean, we'll talk more about HARP and the conspiracy theory based on that, and what that's about. But makes you really start to think, like, how could they have all happened? Like, I've never ever heard of that many earthquakes happening at the same time, right? That's
right.
that's pretty wild. So
Yeah,
it's
we've got some
definitely something to it.
we've got some intriguing information that we'll share with you on the after party on that. Before we go, though, I did want to play this video.
Oh, the incident. Yeah.
Yeah, this incident that happened, I just want to bring to everyone's attention. And if you're on with us now live, we're heading over to the after party in about 5 minutes or so after we play this video. If you like the content we're discussing, please hit that like button. Share this with your friends and family members. And feel free to give us a hello in the comments. I'm going to play this video here for you guys to watch. I hope the audio plays through. Let's take a look here. Let's see. There we go. All right, so here's the background on this. So this guy right here, he's in this river and he loses his cell phone. And he's looking for his cell phone, and there's a group of teenagers, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 teenagers there. And they start like harassing this guy, right? I don't know if you can hear this. And they're surrounding him, they're laughing at him, they're in his face. Turn up the audio a little bit here. And they hit him, they knock him down to the ground, they start shoving him. Well, what happens right here is the guy ends up deploying a knife and ends up stabbing someone. See in his hand right there? You can see the knife. And I'm going to see if I could back this up just a little bit because I want you to see what happens here. So as he's getting up from being down, see the knife right there in his hand?
Yep.
Let's skip the frame. Let's see if I can get it. He's got a knife in his hand right there, and he deploys it and stabs the kid that's standing in front of him in the stomach. And you're going to see here in a second the kid on the ground, and he's stabbed and he's bleeding out. He ended up stabbing a couple of these right there.
I think it was like 5 people.
Yeah, and one didn't survive.
One's deceased. Yeah.
So after watching this video, it's number one, it's appalling the way that these kids and what they did to this individual, right? And I feel that with society the way it is nowadays, with these punk kids on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram that antagonize people and tease them and try to get them all riled up. And this guy was just looking for his lost phone and ends up getting surrounded by these kids. They're yelling and screaming in his face, shove him down to the ground. He felt threatened. And, he's claiming self-defense now. I don't know how the case is going to play out, but if you have kids, highly recommend you have a discussion with them about the way that they act out in public and the groups of people that they hang out with. We all know, especially if you have kids, David, you've got kids, Mike, you've got kids that are teenagers or is now, older. And you see the people that they hang out sometimes, and it just doesn't rub you the right way. You're like, that kid's a punk. I don't want my kid hanging around with that person because they're going to be a bad influence. And this is a perfect example when you get a group of teenagers and they start doing stupid stuff and peering back and forth and start getting each other riled up, and it just gets carried away. Hey, Ed, you're online joining us. Good to see you.
Hey, Ed.
Ed says it's all fun and games until a guy pulls out a knife. I know. And it didn't have to go down this way. There's absolutely no reason why these kids should have been treating him the way that they did. And I think this is a parental thing that, parents need to have more talks with their kids. And when they're watching, your kids are watching these punks act like idiots on YouTube and TikTok, say something about it and how you disagree with the way that they're acting, and that they better not ever act that way, because I do. I've seen my kids and their friends looking at some of these videos and laughing, and I'm like, that's not funny. It's not funny at all. And sometimes it looks funny from a different angle, but then when you explain it to them the way that it's unfolding, what's actually going on, sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, you're right. So if you have younger kids, have the conversations with them about this not being right, and make sure that they're being taught the right way to act. And if one or two of these kids say, hey, guys, knock it off, just let the guy find his phone, or let's help him find his phone.
Or help him find the phone.
Right.
God forbid we did that.
It could have
Terrible.
de-escalated. It could have went a different direction. But I didn't see any of those kids, and I played the video back several times. They were just getting each other going more and more and more.
Yeah,
and
just
more.
razz the guy up, kept picking, kept pushing him.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to play that while we're live on YouTube. So any of those parents that are watching on YouTube, either in the replay or watching with us right now, I just think it's important to say out loud, raise your kids right, have conversations with them, play videos like this, and let them know how things can go sideways in a heartbeat, and make sure they're making the right decisions when they're out with their friends. Very, very important. Ed says, so unnecessary. Most of the worst violent acts happen over nonsense like this. Here's a thought. Help the guy. Exactly.
Yeah,
why not just
100%.
help him find his cell phone rather than being little punk asses and doing what you did. But we'll see how this all plays out in the court system now. So, guys, we're going to head over to the after party. Ed's going to see us in the after party. I hope you guys are too. We have got a lot to talk about with HAARP and the cloud seeding and the earthquakes and all that other good stuff. And we obviously don't want to continue the conversation here, where we have the overlords of social media telling us what we can and cannot discuss. So we're going to head over to the after party now. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. If you're watching this replay, please hit that like button if you like this content. Make sure to subscribe to our website. To become a member and join us in the after parties, absolutely free. Just head over to t4survival.com. Sign up to become a site member. Again, it's free and it's easy. It will send me an approval. I'll approve it, and then bam, you're in, joining us for the after party. In the after party, you'll be set up just like this, and there'll be a comments box where you can continue to communicate with us and ask us questions in the after party, and be a little bit more free with our conversation and the questions that you have. So that's it for now, guys. We're going to be signing off. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. We'll be back again in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, for our next live stream with a new topic. If there's anything you guys would like us to cover, please put them in the comments as well, or send us a message through our social media channels or on our website. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the after party. Anything else you want to say, David?
Thanks for joining us. See you guys at the after party.
All right. Take care. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.